and I was throwing the bowling ball, and I kind of like slipped too. So it was like right in front of people on a busy day. I was just thinking like, damn, this only me. I would be the one person who falls in a bowling alley in school. That was horrible.
Did you get a strike at least in the process, or?
I had like a spare, so it was like, damn, at least if I had
Hey, at least you got that. Yeah.
yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Black Student Success Podcast, where we bring you insight and guidance from successful Black professionals and students. My name is Selvin, and as always, we appreciate the support. So today we have Catrina Alexandre. She is the founder of Black Women in Construction. So she's going to talk about her career path, all the things that have backed up, the company that she founded, and all the aspects of kind of working in construction, especially coming from a Black woman. So this is definitely going to be interesting. So, Catrina, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. Thank you for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
How you guys are doing?
Thank you, and likewise. We like the path that you've taken and the push that you've been making, for the career that you've built. So let's start by asking, who is Catrina Alexandre?
Catrina is a complexity of many things. Of course, I'm a Black woman in construction. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm just trying to help other people find themselves and find our purpose in life, because that's what life's really about. Just helping someone along the journey so it could be easier for them than it was for you. That's my whole goal with the page Black Women in Construction. Like, the whole mindset is to help people find jobs, find internship, find people who look like them in the industry. Because when I was working in construction, I'm from New Jersey, I was trying to find a job and it was so hard. And I had extensive, I did the internship, I already had working experience. So it was like, what is going on? But then I realized it was just like, we weren't, when you think construction, you don't really see Black people in leadership roles. So that was like the hard problem. So I was like, nah, things got to change. There has to be different people. And with starting the page, it really just started when you started posting like, hey, is there different Black women in construction? Let's help each other out. And through the page, we'll be able to have people been on TV, have sponsorships, have like the Louf brand sponsorships, be on TV, commercials, all just from helping one another out. And that's our whole goal in life. So that's really me, just trying to help someone else be on a better journey,
There you go. It sounds like a simple answer, but there's so much that comes from that once you actually see those things flourish. So thank you for that. Now, what motivated you to get into construction initially? With you not seeing as many people who look like you, that can make it a little bit harder. But what was the driving point that made you want to get in this career?
I always thought to myself, one day my life goal would be to have enough money to build my own house, and I could build it exactly how I want to do it. So with that, you have to think, all right, engineering, construction, you got to figure out, okay, how do people do it? What's the quickest way to get it done? I'm still working on that goal, but through the journey, I've learned so much that I know when it does happen soon, it's going to be easy. That's what life's about. You got to go through the hard stuff first to learn what really your path is, because construction itself has so many diverse other things. Like, I work construction, but I also do TV and acting things. I also do, other podcasts. I do different variety of things. And when you think construction, you just think the straight, all right, they're outside. No, you can do financing, you can do analytics, you could be a millionaire and never even go on a construction site itself. You could there's opportunities out like that. So I think sometimes people think construction is a narrow-minded view. So at least now, if we could open up the spectrum and show, like, there's some real estate agents, there's interior designers who are making money. So it can happen. So even if someone has their passion is mathematics, they could do the books, they can become a CFO. And CFO starting salary, I think, could be up to like 90,000 for different construction companies. And that's like a mom and pop store. So There's different ways to grow in construction. So. Yeah.
And for you, it all just started with just wanting to build your own house. And, after that, it just, you got open to this whole world of, okay, it's not just the hard hats and the vests and all of that. It's, there's a lot more. And like you said, even without even being physically on a construction, you can still work in that field if you, are passionate about some of those aspects within the field.
Yeah, and it's one of the growing fields right now because despite with everything going on with lockdown, people are getting so many renovations done on their home. Just like think about the real estate market. If a person's in construction, like I recently interviewed a woman who was a beautician who started making money flipping and building beauty salons because she was working as a beautician. She knows the exact layouts. So everything has a way to like make itself work for you.
Absolutely.
Like yeah.
There you go. So now you kind of touched on this a little bit in terms of the different areas, but if you, maybe even based on your own experience, what are those different variations of working in construction, are available, just in case, there is someone out there who wants to kind of be in that environment, but maybe doesn't want to do the physical work, or maybe the opposite. They want to, be on the site doing, being right on the front line. What types of different areas can you work in within construction?
There's so many. If someone wants to be on site, they could be a tradesperson. So they could become an apprentice and go for something like plumbing, electricians. For the company I work for now, which is a major energy company, the electrician makes minimum, I think, $175 a year.
Mm.
So that's a good starting rate for someone who's into just trinkering around with things, or they could do an architect. But for architects, I would say try to go for a bigger firm. I know this might sound because, they might not pay you that much. So you got to think about what your goal is. Because sometimes I think we're not realistic to ourselves. Like, what do we really want? What would make us happy in life? With 70,000 or 100,000, or 200,000. But there's other things like finance. For someone who wants to be in the office, there's financing. There's project management, which is a great field too. That's like one of my backgrounds too. And you can get great paying jobs doing that. Project management, architecture, money. Coordinating. If you're good just at scheduling, that's a whole giant logistics part of construction too. So sometimes it's not just the straight, like even if you're not into math or engineering, really, you could find something like that could work for you. Business management,
Yeah. And I'm glad that you mentioned trades, because I feel like that doesn't get enough attention when it comes to just the education side. There's a lot of attention that goes into, getting the college degrees, and, ultimately it's going to be whatever works for you. But, still being able to highlight that there is the route to like go to a trade school and then be able to make six figures from just being an electrician. There are those opportunities that are out there. It's just making people aware and then taking the stigma away from that, both the college and, the trade school routes, or even just, kind of starting from the ground up, like you said, being an apprentice and then kind of working your way up. That's just another option as well.
Especially with everything going on, especially with the lockdown, people who are paying full tuition aren't even get to be on campus. Mm-hmm. And now they're being mandated to get vaccinated. So if that's something you're even against, now it's like, all right, am I going to take a vaccine or I'm going to go to school? Yeah. But you could have just gone to trade school, which is 2 years, or a year and a half, depending on what it is. And then started out $27, $30 an hour, just a part-time gig, just to grow yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, what would you say is one misconception about your field, especially from your perspective, whether it's, your identity, being a Black woman, like you said earlier, you don't really think Black women or Black people in general when it comes to construction, at least getting in those higher positions. But what would you say is one misconception, from your experience that you've seen or maybe even experienced? That
one misconception I think is that we don't have the power to change the narrative. Sometimes I think we don't even take accountability of how great we are as a consumer market itself. If we were to buy within our own or buy with people we know or invest in and growing ourselves in construction, we could own land, we could own property. Sometimes people think small terms like, all right, I just work at a construction company. But what if this company decides to give you stake in their company? I think sometimes the one misconception is that we just think we can't grow in a field. We could grow and dominate anything we really want to, Like stop shortchanging yourself. I really feel like that's one thing I always tell my cousins and my family, like stop shortchanging what you really could do and what impact you can really have. So even with construction, when you think of a construction, what do you think of? Like the guy who either owns it or the guy working on site? What do they look like? change that narrative. We have the power, so we just have to take control of it. That's the one thing I really think.
Absolutely. And we've seen that in many other fields and just areas where we're changing the narrative. Like, so something simple as superheroes that you see in movies, you can see how that's changed over time, by just really pushing that and believing in yourself to be, one of those individuals that kind of, show that there's other sides to it, just like, especially the work that you're doing with the page. I think that's really awesome, and being able to do that. So you definitely preach it to the choir when it comes to just having the power and owning that, so that you can actually change. And then, like you said, make things better for those who are behind you and ahead of you.
Yeah, because we complain a lot about how things are not in our favor, but then every day we should take accountability in our actions to make it in our favor, to make it better for someone who might have a hardship later on,
Mm-hmm. Gotta love accountability there. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Now, with all the things that you've done and experienced, how would you define success? What does that look like for you personally?
That's a very deep question, actually. Success in a personal life or even in professional, I would just say that I feel proud that my efforts weren't in vain. That my efforts were really brought into fruition. Because sometimes, it's normal life, we get lazy, but we shouldn't get so lazy that we don't even get to sit back sometimes and look like, damn, I did that right there. Like I completed something that I thought was hard, that I thought was unapproachable, and I was able to do it. Even me focusing with this page, I'm like, all right, I've helped somebody get a job. I helped somebody find a mentor, which is a small nick into something better. We could all grow in our niches and just become amazing examples of ourselves, amazing of God's divinity in ourselves. We just got to focus it. And I think that's probably it. And defining success would be just more so the people around me, I guess, being happy as well. But then just even being happy with myself and just laying down at night, being proud of what I did for that day.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes we don't even take the time, to just reflect on what we've been able to do and who we've been able to impact. So if you're able to do that and at least find the time to do so, you're not stuck in the rat race of just kind of getting things done. You can actually appreciate it and pat yourself on the back, say, hey, I did that, so absolutely. So thank you for defining that. Now, when it comes to just to get a little bit of a better idea of you as a person, we have some fun questions for our guests. So why don't you name one embarrassing thing that happened to you in school?
Well, my school, NJIT, has a bowling alley in the basement. And I was throwing the bowling ball and I kind of slipped too. So it was right in front of people on a busy day. I was just thinking damn, this is only me. I would be the one person who falls in a bowling alley in school. That was horrible.
Did you get a strike at least in the process?
I had a spare, so it was damn, at least
hey, at least you got that. Yeah. There you go. And then what's one rite of passage that you think all students should go through when it comes to just their college experience or just student experience in general? What's that one thing that we can all relate to that you feel like, okay, you've done your part, you've paid your dues?
You said that a person should do or that they have to do?
Either one, whatever you feel is best.
I think what everybody should do is study abroad. Sometimes we don't realize how narrow our view is till we go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Like for me, I had to go to San Francisco, and I lived in San Francisco Bay at Marin Headlands, right by the Redwoods, which was great. And I was like, damn, this is different from Jersey. And it just shows you as, I guess, Black people, people of color, diverse people, that there's more to the world than what we see in our boxes, And another rite of passage I would say is just do some volunteer work. I would say small things like that. Even when a homeless person asks you for change or money, just give it, because you have an opportunity to even be in school and just grow. Because think about it, some of our grandparents didn't even get the opportunity to be allowed to go to school, So I feel just a rite of passage would just be always have a giving heart, no matter what it is. Because let's be honest, most campuses they have a lot of homeless people. They have people begging for money, but we're so quick to say no that we don't even realize that person could have been going there 20 years ago, but now things are hard. Yeah. We could always be that other person. So just put yourself in their position.
Awesome. Yeah, it's like planting seeds. You're like, you never know what's going to happen, later down the line. That $1 that you can be giving could be that $1 needed to, help that person create something, huge and powerful and impactful. So yeah, go out and volunteer, if you have the time, and you sometimes underestimate how good you feel after you got something done, once you've kind of done something to serve somebody else. And hopefully that snowballs into kind of doing more things, whether that's in your field or outside your field or whatever the case is. That's definitely an awesome thing to do. So, Catrina, that's what I have for you. Thank you for your time and sharing your experience. Any last words for our audience, as well as just letting people know where they can find you?
I just want to say thank you to the audience. I really appreciate what you guys are doing. I love just the mindset of it. It's great, and it's something proud to see. For me to reach me, I would say people check out the page Black Women in Construction, all one word. For my personal Instagram is Cat Got Your Tongue. You'll see it on the page if you look around and whatnot. But most importantly, just follow Black Women in Construction, support the page. We even sell merch like this shirt right here. It says I Am Black History. So just, support and just share a page with a friend. And just pay it forward. Whatever you do today, pay it forward. That's the one thing I really, really want.
There you go.
Everybody do. You never know.
Absolutely. We'll have all of that in the description. So thank you, Catrina, again for being a guest. And thanks to everybody who's been watching and listening. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. That's Inquire Higher. And inquirehigher.com is our website. We've got a lot of great information there and a lot of good things coming your way. So until next time, peace.